This is the High School Crossfire. Welcome back.
Thank you very much, the head of the jury, the 226 sides, and the House at large. My dear judges, this House believes that actually social media should be limited to persons of a legal responsible age is our resolution today, my dear judges. My dear judges, we, as team proposition, first, before I even go to the rebuttal of what they have told us, my dear judges, we are trying to look at the justification for why we are limiting these people to a legal responsible age. Why a legal responsible age? That's something we would like to build on and show it to justify why we are limiting these people to a legal responsible age, my dear judges. My dear judges, the first negator came and said that we did not give them a regulator or a communication regulator. But my first speaker clearly stated that we are going to use the Uganda Communications Commission to implement this, my dear judges. So our stand is that we are going to use the Uganda Communications Commission to implement this, my dear judges. I don't know whether he had heard that, my dear judges. My dear judges, he mentioned that they are going to carry out mass sensitization. Mass sensitization, my dear judges, first of all, what is the problem with the people of below the legal responsible age, my dear judges? These people are not held back. These people are not held accountable for their crimes, my dear judges. Second of all, these people of below the age of legal responsible age, these people can easily be victimized by the effects of social media, my dear judges. So mass sensitization, how is it going to help in the case of people who are committing crimes and they're not being held accountable, my dear judges? Not allowed, please. You said that in sensitization, my dear judges. My question is, in case of non-compliance to this sensitization, what are you going to do? Because after all, people below the age of 12 and below, they are not allowed to, they are not being held accountable for the crimes they do on social media, my dear judges. So, mean that you have to look for a better alternative, a better solution to people who are below the age of 12 and they are committing crimes in case, my dear judges. And in cases, not allowed, please, in cases whereby these people are very young, my dear judges. Just like the Constitution of Uganda states that these people are below the age of the legal responsible age. These people can easily be victimized by the negative effects of social media. We have seen cases of people, according to according to Daily Monitor of 5th October, they stated about 7 cases of people, of young men who were raped just because of them accessing social media, and they reached out those people from social media and they were raped because of that, my dear judges. So these people can easily be victimized by the negative effects of this social media, my dear judges. So look for a better alternative to help them from creating crimes and also from accessing these negative effects of social media. Allowed.
Do you know that according to childnet.com, nearly all social media services require users to be at least 13 years of age to access them?
Come again, please.
Do you know that according to childnet.com, nearly all other social media services require users to be at least 13 years of age?
My dear judges, they accepted our parameter. They accepted our definition, my dear judges. And within the parameter of Uganda, according to the 1995 Constitution of Uganda, it states that a legal responsible age in Uganda is 12 years of age, my dear judges. So I don't accept what you have said, my dear judges. My dear judges, still, they came and gave us an example of 20% of people who are sharing videos or making different things, my dear judges. My dear judges, the fact is that if you're sharing wrong information on social media, if you're younger than 12 years of age, that means that you're not being held accountable. So that's why you're limiting this information to people of an age of a legal responsible age, my dear judges. The second thing is that, my dear judges, these people can be victims. These people below age of 12, my dear judges, can be victimized by the effects of social media. So we're looking for a better option. We're looking for a way we are going to solve this problem, my dear judges, rather than having mass sensitization, of which this mass sensitization may have non-compliance. And in fact, it's going to have non-compliance, my dear judges. So how are you going to fight the non-compliance, this sensitization, my dear judges? But limiting access to social media is a solution, because people of a legal responsible age, below legal responsible age, are not held accountable by law. If they commit crimes, they're not held accountable because they're under the age of 12, my dear judges. My dear judges, besides all this, look at a period between 0 to 12 years of age, my dear judges. These people need prior knowledge about social media. These people need to be taught how to navigate social media. These people needs to know how to use social media, my dear judges. So as team proposition, still we are going to say that we are going to use this period of time to prepare, the parents are going to use this period of time to prepare their children for the proper use of social media, my dear judges. Because someone is from 0 up to 12. According to the Constitution of Uganda, these people are not legally responsible, my dear judges. So we are limiting it to this age because we want to prepare them adequately for the proper use of social media so that they can be ready to access this information. Because in case of victimization, these people are not able to go against this effect, my dear judges. So we shall even have this time for them to prepare for the proper use and prepare for the proper navigation of the social media, my dear judges. My dear judges, still, we look at the point that this legally responsible age is an age. People above the age of 12, my dear judges, they can be held accountable. So in case these people are creating crimes, these people can be held, can be taken to courts and be charged, my dear judges. But these people who are below the legal responsible age cannot be held accountable. So meaning that if they commit crimes, how is team opposition going to hold them accountable? Because they're talking about mass sensitization. But if these people don't comply and then they do the crimes, how are you going to hold them accountable? And yet they're not legally responsible, my dear judges. So that's our case. I rest my case. Thank you very much.
The third truth about life is that the culprit is never punished, but rather the victim suffers more. Panel, dear ladies and gentlemen, my name is Meridian Bosco, the second negative, and I'm from Namilyango College. Now, panel, I'll start with by answering the questions asked by Team Affirmative. Team Affirmative asked us, how are we going to be accountable to these children that are below the legally responsible age? And we told them that for us, we have not talked of limiting these people. So that, and by the way, we acknowledge that we certify that the problem is not actually the access. The problem is the information on the social media, but not the access of the information. And this means there is misinformation, disinformation, there is propaganda, and there is increased cyberbullying and violence, as mentioned by the first negative. That this is now the problem, which we want to tackle. By censorship, which we told you that we are going to actually use censorship to tackle this. We are combating the problem directly. These people are actually hitting around the bush. They want to actually limit the access of knowledge of these children. We are living in a developing world. In Uganda, people are actually getting to start to acknowledge the use of technology and other stuff. Why would you then limit the young people to get this access? Pano, we also asked them that were they aware? They also don't tell us, by the way, what kind of responsibility they were, on what basis they considered the responsibility of 12 years. Pano, in the Constitution of Uganda, we have different types of responsibility. There's employment responsibility, there's criminal responsibility. They don't give us a reason as why they chose the age of 12, which is criminal responsibility. But there's also employment responsibility. Why did they choose 12? They don't tell us.
Point of information.
Pano, we also want to inform them that the mass sensitization we are doing, we are going to ensure there's media literacy in this mass sensitization, in which people will get to actually know how to use this social media rightly, so that they don't put misinformation and propaganda on the social media. Granted.
Do you believe in dark sides? 2. Do you believe that censoring of information has been there and has not worked? Do you believe in dark sides 2, where else that information can be got?
Where the information can be got, we have Investopedia panel. We also have the Ministry of Communication, Information and Communication, that is headed by Peter Ogwang panel. In our case, we are telling you that actually, if we do censorship, it can work more than limiting access. They even failed to give us a status quo. They failed to give us the reason. Why are they limiting? Why is there a need to limit? Why is there a need to limit? They failed to tell us. But we are telling you, there is need to censor. Why? The problem is misinformation, propaganda. And as in this censoring, we are going to use keyword filtering, blocking these websites that are actually spreading this propaganda. We are going to arrest content posters that are actually posting this propaganda. This means we are going to be tackling down the problem directly, other than hitting around the bush. There is no need to limit these children below the legally responsible age
point of information
from actually accessing social media. Granted.
Honorable, how differently are you going to censor this information? Because we believe censorship.
Exactly, we have told you there is keyword filtering. As the Economic Research Commission, this keyword filtering, website blocking, and transparency requirements are going to be accorded for the use of social media, so that we ensure that there is no spread of propaganda and cyberbullying on this social media. And this is the problem. The problem is not the access. The access is actually beneficial. We got to see this. COVID, people were actually studying using social media. Children were using this social media. Now, if you limit them to access, how are they going to get all these benefits? Well, no, that's the question. We are telling them they have no status quo. There is no need for us to actually limit this access. They haven't told us. We shall give you examples of the propaganda. Take an example in the Daily Monitor of 2nd March 2023, where 2 PDS officers were actually jailed for misinformation. They were spreading that the government is not paying soldiers. And this is what we want to tackle. We get these ones, the victims, we arrest them, we keep them in custody so that they stop spreading the propaganda. Children will get actually authentic information, and this is the problem. The problem is not access, I repeat. But not, furthermore, cyberbullying. We are also going to deal with the cyberbullies, because we have noticed that the problem is actually 1 out of 5 of children suffering from this. Thank you. I beg to rest my case.
This is the High School Crossfire. We'll be back in a minute.